This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for May 3, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, progress made in combating praedial larceny, says Charles Jr. Agriculture Minister Praedial Charles Jr. says that more than 100 arrests have been made in connection with praedial larceny in the last fiscal year. During his contribution to the sectorial debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Mr. Charles said the police and the ministry have been making progress in efforts to combat the theft of agricultural produce and the livestock. The minister said 30 farmer watch groups were established in the last fiscal year. Some 142 arrests were made in relation to breaches of the legislation, and 52 praedial larceny-related offenses were reported over the period.
30 farmer watch groups were established this year. We had 142 arrests that were made relating to breaches of legislation, and 52 praedial larceny-related offenses were reported officially over the period. Madam Speaker, we have a lot of work to do when it comes down to this challenge, and I just want to assure the country that this is a priority. Not everything done can be said, but be assured that things are being done. We have trained our police and will continue to train them. We had 9 training sessions conducted by JCF personnel across all 19 geographical police divisions. 440 police personnel were trained on how to effectively investigate praedial larceny cases and prepare case files.
Jamaicans urged to use mediation to settle disputes. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the government is concerned that too many domestic disputes are ending in violence. Mr. Chuck is urging people engaged in conflicts to utilize the alternative dispute resolution services being provided by the ministry. He says that the ministry has established 20 restorative justice centers across the island to assist with mediating and settling conflicts outside of the traditional court system.
We have reached and assisted thousands of Jamaicans to access our free services, ensuring that our citizens see alternative justice services as methods, as the primary means to resolve disputes, avoid conflicts, and settle contentious matters that affect their daily lives. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Justice is convinced that many abuses, violent crimes, and gruesome murders can be avoided if people use our justice services before acting hastily or in an irresponsible manner, which oftentimes leads to death and regret. Our people need to use these services. Madam Speaker, judgment debt, we have paid all the judgment debts for the last many years. We have paid up. This government, and I thank the Minister of Finance, providing enough funds that no litigant who has sued the government, settled the matter, and send the documents or the claim to the Ministry of Justice, they are paid up within the hours or days. Madam Speaker, it is so good that last year 530 million was paid out in judgment debt. And earlier, about January, I kept asking the Attorney General Chambers, you have any more claim? Because we have a little more money. And so, Madam Speaker, we had to return 150 million back to the Consolidated Fund. I am urging litigants who have sued the government, settle quickly with the Attorney General's chambers so that we have money, we can assist you settle.
PNP calls for public broadcast of Constitutional Reform Committee meetings. The opposition People's National Party is calling for the Constitutional Reform Committee to make its meetings open to the public through streaming. The PNP believes that transparency and openness are critical to ensuring that the committee achieves its goals of creating a more democratic and accountable system of government. We believe that the work of the Constitutional Reform Committee is of great importance to Jamaica's future. As such, it is essential that the committee meetings are open to the public. This will ensure that Jamaicans have a direct view of the process and they can be better informed of the work and deliberations of the committee, said Mark Golding, leader of the opposition and the PNP president. The PNP says it recognizes the committee has a complex and a challenging task ahead. However, the party believes that its processes should take place in public view, simultaneously with a series of public consultations and the public education campaigns. The PNP is again urging the body to make its committee meetings open to the public, as this will help to build the public trust and the confidence in the constitutional reform process. Additionally, it will ensure that citizens are fully engaged in the process of creating a more democratic and accountable system of government. Government and the police to distribute 10,000 headgear to encourage biker safety. The failure of some motorcyclists to wear helmets has prompted the government to team up with the police in pursuing a new enforcement campaign to quell the lawlessness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made that disclosure during the launch of Workers' Week and Labor Day on Tuesday, which is being highlighted under the theme Plant a Tree for Life, promoting climate change mitigation, food security and road safety. Holness said despite the effort of the police to target the unruly motorcyclists, they have been using skillful ways to escape the law enforcers. In discussion with the Commissioner of Police, there will be a new enforcement campaign which will be designed to intercept riders. The police have been injured in trying to intercept riders because the riders believe that because they are on bikes, they can wind their way through traffic and escape, said Holness during the launch held in the office of the Prime Minister in Kingston. We have put in place a new strategy to treat with them. In all major towns right across Jamaica, we are going to see the rollout of the new initiative to tackle those riders who are not following the Road Traffic Act as it relates to wearing their helmets, he added. Holness said he has noticed an improvement in the use of helmets by bikers, notwithstanding the tragedy of 5 young men who recently lost their lives. The 5 motorcyclists, 20-year-old Tajay Murray, 18-year-old Anthony Fuller, 20-year-old Raheem Campbell, 24-year-old Jamie Marriott, and 17-year-old Romario Moody, who were traveling on 3 motorcycles, died after crashing into an oncoming Toyota Hiace bus on Temple Hall Main Road in St. Andrew on February 27. We will never know the potential of those 5 young men, what they could have contributed to the society, to their family, to their community, but we do know the cost of their loss, not just in the medical cost, the funeral, loss of income to the family, loss to their loved ones, he said. Further, he said while he is aware that the impact of the National Medical Bill is huge, he reiterated the government's effort to procure helmets. He said the Ministry of National Security has started the process of getting 3,000 of the 10,000 helmets promised. The objective is to give them out freely. All you have to do when the helmets arrive in the island and we decide where we are going to be distributing is just to prove that you are a rider and we will give you a helmet. No strings attached because we want you to be safe, he said. In the meantime, Holness appealed to young men who are fascinated with bikes to use them safely. Yes, the motorcycle can be a very exciting, very compelling mode of transportation, but is it the safest mode of transportation? I encourage our young men who may be developing this fascination, this fetish for motorbikes, to think very carefully about it, he said. If this is the mode of transportation you can afford, I understand. But it is silly, it is stupid, if this is the mode you are going to use, that you do not take precautions to be safe on it. You might think it looks cool for you to be riding without eye protection, without helmets, without a protection of your limbs. It doesn't. All it takes is for a stone to fly from a tire and hit you in your eye, and that is the end of that, said Holness. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.